Hi, I trust this finds you well. Hope you've had a good week. Here's a thought for this week's Parsha. Once again, a double header, 2 Parshiyot, Matot and Masei, and we conclude the 4th book of the Torah. One of the things that it talks about in Parshas Matot is the allocation of land, the division of the land among the people. Each tribe was allocated a specific portion of the land of Israel on which they would settle and dwell. There were 2 tribes, however, Reuven and Gad. They approached Moshe and they said, Moses, we don't want to cross the Jordan with everybody else. We want to remain east of the Jordan. The land is perfect for our animals here. And Moshe wasn't impressed. In fact, he was furious. What, everybody else is going to cross the Jordan and work hard to settle the land, and you're just going to stay here and watch? That's not going to happen. And there was a back and forth, and eventually they did reach an agreement where these 2 tribes would join everybody else, help settle the land, and then cross back and settle wherever it is that they wanted to dwell. But what's interesting is the terms used in this agreement. When these 2 tribes approached Moshe, they asked for land upon which they will build farms for their animals and cities for their children. And when Moshe responds, he says, go ahead, go and build cities for your children and farms for your animals. And Rashi points out something really interesting. Did you notice that Moshe actually reversed the terms of the request? They had asked to build farms for their animals and cities for their children, and he says, go and build cities for your children and farms for your animals. Why? Rashi tells us that Moshe perceived that they were placing an emphasis, they were more concerned about their sheep, their wealth, their property, and not so much about their children. So in a very subtle way, he tried to refocus their priorities and says, look after your family first, after which you can look after everything else. There's a wonderful lesson there. If anybody were to ask any of us, stop any of us on the street and say, what is the most important thing in life? I'm sure, I hope at least, that all of us would answer our family, because we really do love and cherish our families. But sometimes we get distracted and our actions don't necessarily back that up. We focus very much on work or pursuits, anything else, and we sometimes do neglect our dear ones. Well, Rashi reminds us this week, first we build cities for our children, then we build farms for our animals. First we look after those who we love, our dear family. Everything else follows. Priorities. Shabbat Shalom. Take care.